More and more UFOs. And now, as you see from the title, they are literally over these fires in LA where I live. Literally, I'm surrounded by fires right now in every direction, literally as close as 10 miles. It's actually hard to breathe. But let's start with the UFOs over the skies because that is breaking news, actually, for me. So, what do you guys think of this? Okay, this is Santa Monica. The fire is Pacific Palisades, right next to Malibu, and of course Santa Monica. Actually, one borders Pacific Palisades in the middle, Malibu's on one side, Santa Monica's on the other side. There's the Santa Monica Mountains. The fire's burning upwards. I live on the other side of the mountains in the San Fernando Valley. That is what we're looking at. Now, this was caught off some security camera. See, now one of them you're about to see was actually captured on the news. And whoever saw it, kudos to them. And I got to give shout out to Third Phase of Moon. These are my dear friends in Hawaii, Blake and Brent Cousins. They're actually the ones who broke this story. So I want to thank them because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have known about this so soon to break it to you. Now, if you already saw this there, well, hang on because I'm going to show you something that's not in Third Phase of Moon video after we get past the fires, UFOs. Look at that. I mean, that can't be a balloon. Do you know how hot it is? Anything would be burning. You could feel the heat. By the way, if you saw the last video, one of the videos coming up here after this is something I already showed. So when it comes to that, I'm going to show you the new stuff I have for you. But I want to give a shout out to Alexander G again from Norway. He's being ultra generous with his super thanks supporting my channel. And I really want to thank him for that and hope the rest of you are also able to support. But see, deep thanks to him and also for all the info he's given me from all around Europe, especially in Scandinavia. What is that? Come on. What do you guys think? This is not normal activity. This is not a bird. Now, initially, you see that trail? It was thought to be a camera artifact, and that's what was said about trails with UFOs for the longest time. I don't think that's the case. It's either one of two things. There's so much smoke in the air, maybe because of the way these things fly, they're grabbing some of it and then a tail is made. That's one possibility. The other could be maybe we're just seeing the distortion from gravity. Now, I know I've talked about the way these travel via gravity a lot, but when I asked Clifford Stone, and may he rest in peace, the only person I've ever interviewed that was in the program that was part of the crash and retrievals, he said when he asked the ETs how they travel, one they said was gravity, and then he had heard from another set of ETs or something about dark matter energy. And when he asked the one of the ETs, if they, what's this dark matter energy? The ET kind of like shut him down, basically saying, it's you should really hear my interview with him. If you want, I will bring it back because it's so old. At this point, it's about 6 years old. The point is, he said the ET told him, "You're not ready for that. We're not going to say anything about that." So there could be an unknown force is another propulsion system. Gravity is the way that Bob Lazar described the sport model. And clearly, these things demonstrate the ability to control gravity. So, is that what this tale is? I wish someone out there watching these who works in the program would step forward and say, yeah, 8 years ago, I used to guard a hangar where we kept our wreckage and bodies. Just something. Somebody step forward, please. This is why I want to say thanks to the keen viewer who found this and sent this to Third Phase of Moon. As you could see, this was broadcast on Fox News. Fox News, the cable channel, which is a national news channel. And obviously, the fires are so big, they say it could be the worst damage, the highest, most expensive natural disaster. Although I beg to differ. The 1994 quake I went through in Northridge, which was epicentered half a mile from where I live, was probably worse because, well, then again, you have like $30 million homes that were destroyed. But the point is This was broadcast on national news. Obviously, I'm sure this was never repeated after this was seen, but who knows these days? They kind of let things happen, and they do talk about UFOs on Fox, CNN, MSNBC all the time. So it's not a common occurrence, but they don't. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the only time it was seen. But kudos to the person who filmed this, literally off a TV, because I was not watching any of these news stations. I caught some of the news to find out what the how many people have passed away, unfortunately, how many homes were destroyed, and how close the fires were getting to me. But outside of that, I didn't want to hear more of it because you can't escape it. You look up in the sky, it's orange, and all you could do is keep dealing with your eyes and your nose and breathing that toxic smoke. There's a whole conspiracy about that these fires are being are far worse because people want it to happen, but I'm not going to go into that right now. If you want to know, let me know, and I will make an entire video on that. Now, the video here, what is supposed to be seen as that's a helicopter. It's apparently chasing an orb. So it looks like it's gaining ground on it too. But yeah, that blinking one is supposed to be a helicopter. Is that what is that? Is that the orb that flew next to it? Don't really know. This one isn't as crazy as some of the ones I'm about to show you. This is the last one in this particular video I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to jump to the other. Again, this is taken from Third Phase of Moon. The reason I'm going to not show you the next one is because I already showed it to you. The next one is the Thailand one I just showed you from their news broadcast. If you saw the last video, this is amazing. This reminds me of the beam ship case that happened in the mid 90s in Las Vegas. This guy, Aubrey Ames, was a contactee, and all over Las Vegas for about 30 minutes during the day, a craft very similar to this, glowing just like this, was following him. Even in a high speed chase, he was driving, trying to film it. Really amazing footage for that period. I'm curious because this has, you know, three distinct lights. You have the middle one and the one on each side. If this is a disc, obviously we could presume there's at least one more on the other side, maybe more. I'm curious why, because usually a lot of times if you see a glowing craft, you just see the shape of it and the whole thing is glowing. You normally don't see multicolored lights like this at the same time. Okay, now let's get to some other gnarly ones that I want you to see. And would love to know your opinion. A lot of these are literally brand spanking new. Almost everything, everything you're about to see and you saw already is literally from the last 24 hours. So some of these will go back just a couple days, but everything here is 2025. Yeah, brand new New Jersey, January 6th, 2025. It's crazy because New Jersey was the home of the so called drone mystery from the beginning when it hit the United States. But again, as I've said multiple times lately, it's not, it's a media blackout about it. Why? Why do they not want us even thinking about this anymore? Does this look like a drone to you? What do you think? One thing is not my favorite is just lights in the sky because they could be mistaken for a lot of things and they don't tell you the shape very well. Seeing structured craft in daylight is obviously a preference, but hey, we can't have everything we want. But clearly this was interesting enough where someone filmed this. What is that below? I'm curious if that's coming from the water. Yeah, clearly that's over the water. Do you know? I'm wondering if the reason there's a light down there still is there another one down there? That is very, very curious. Well, we could presume it's not a balloon if that's where it came from. But, Chinese lanterns, yeah, I mean, they do glow, but you would have this to see the flame flickering inside. That is way too bright to be a Chinese lantern. And, well, it's not the moon. I mean, because if this was video that was sped up over time, like a time lapse, you would see the waves at the bottom being lightning quick. And since we don't see that, and you see the waves and the ocean in real time, we know that is moving in real time as well. Yeah, I guess ET go home if that's what ET is. Yeah, I'm very interested in what's happening underwater. Remember, if you guys captured any amazing footage, make sure you send it to the Cousins brothers at Third Phase of Moon. You can send it to me. I'm going to get it to them. The reason is they're amazing filmmakers, so they will literally get it zoomed up, like everything stabilized. I'm not that good at that stuff, but you get it to me, I will, as long as it's good. If it's not good, they're not going to work on it because they get so many submissions. But if you have something amazing, definitely contact me or them directly. Yeah, wow. Here, let's get to some of the other ones I wanted you to see. What do you guys think of this plasma thing? And I meant to ask you, what do you all know about this Dior bag thing? What I heard, two separate stories. One is there was some, it was a commercial, an advertisement created to promote their bags, and apparently some AI footage that was supposed to, I guess, look like UFOs. Some people passed off as UFOs, wasn't. But then I don't know why some people are trying to tie the Dior bags into some of the plasma footage like this. Now, there was one plasma footage that I know was proven to be a hoax. This one is not that one, of course. Unknown date. How many of you here have seen any of these plasma things, especially recently? Very, very interested on knowing that. And why are we getting so many different shapes that we've never had in history? From the jellyfish to the ones that are jellyfish but have like are moving around, like the one I showed not long ago. Literally looks like they have tentacles straight from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, obviously written by Orson Welles, or no, was it H.G. Wells? The point is, Steven Spielberg, when he remade the movie, they looked different than what the original book had portrayed on the cover. But the point is these tentacle looking things and these plasma. The theory I have said before is because CERN has been smashing particles together to create minuscule black holes, which last like, milliseconds, fractions of seconds, just so they can see a black hole and study it, that it's possible in creating one, they inadvertently let stuff through. This is the one of the greater ones of tonight, and the one I was waiting for, and the reason I brought this video up because we've seen rod UFOs. I mentioned that Nuremberg one from 1561, that woodcut, which also had the crosses, the orbs, just like this, and of course the rods or the cigar shaped. Some of these cigar shaped craft are so huge. We're talking miles long. Yeah, I wish there was a little reference point on this one, like a telephone pole, maybe some trees or a mountain, so we can really gauge the distance and try to get an idea for the size. But either way, good catch. Thanks to the Brazilian people out there. I love everything about that culture from the entire South America and even North America, south of the border, when it comes to UFOs and paranormal. They do not laugh at you, they do not hide it. They're very open. They've always believed. They probably look at the Americans, have looked at the Americans who mocked at this. We're probably laughing at us. And I know for the longest time, Europe was like, say, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Europe never talked about this because America, I guess, had more free press in the journalism. So when they talked about the people who were contactees and, you know, meeting their space brothers and sisters, the Europeans were laughing at him because the program had made it to where most of the world was not really talking. And of course, they try to keep Americans from talking about it too. But the cat's out of the bag. The greatest secret is now over. Nobody's hiding this anymore. Anyway, folks, this is what I wanted to share with you. I didn't want to just give you the fire UFOs or the fires and the UFOs overhead, but that was the important reason I decided to make this immediately because of those fires and something apparently watching.